where the save your community black man conversation really needs to start. So I watch YouTube like everyone else does, and I have some videos and some places I watch content. And I remember watching a particular content, and I wanted to come back after it went off of a live because I wanted to come back and read the comments. And I'm going to share some of those comments with you. Okay, let's start here. One comment was, I just love what Mia said. Black women are not a monolith, and every black woman is at a different point of the healing journey from this mass coma black men put them under. Now, when we're talking about the savior community black man conversation, I maybe history happened a certain way that I'm not aware of, but for people that are spouting that, you know, black men need to save the community, if this is a trope that is floating around in a certain segment of the community, the people that really feel the need to appeal for this kind of reunification of the community, they need to address people that have ideas like this. Because if we don't know who has this idea, and I blacked it out on purpose because that's not the point of the video, but we don't know who has these kinds of ideas. And so, you know, if you have a relationship or you have something and a kid comes up about, imagine trying to have a healthy, co-parenting relationship with someone who thinks that black men have put a mass coma on black women. Someone believes that clearly, right? Or how about, let me go to the second one. Yep, protect yourself, don't deal with them at all. Now, you'll hear some of that on both sides of the equation, but if we're talking about quote unquote healing community, these kinds of ideals, they need to be addressed, right? And this comment I found interesting. I had a blood test at 10 weeks to find out the gender of the baby. Thankfully, I had a girl. I paid $100 for it with a private company because I didn't want boys. Again, you talk about saving the community. I mean, this kind of rhetoric, if someone really believes this and you're trying to start a family or you have a child with that person, let's say that this person has a black boy. Do you think that this person is prepared to have a healthy relationship with the black father and raise a healthy, strong, it's just not a conducive thinking pattern. And let's keep going. So I'm going to skip through this and I'm going to start. I just don't understand what's so hard about being a decent human being. These men will come up with every excuse to be exempt from responsibility. Now, if you look at this on a singular episode, she might have had, or we're assuming this is she because it could be, someone that's posing as someone. So we have to always consider that in the internet. But maybe this person had a bad experience with someone previous to the next guy. But you can't have the decent guy, the quote unquote cleanup guy, be penalized for the past mistakes of other guys. And so when we talk about passport bros, you're talking about an overwhelming group of guys who don't have children, who are responsible. You're talking about educated lames, and these guys cannot pay the price. We can't pay the price for, people that have been irresponsible before us. So when you hear these men will come up with every excuse to be exempt from responsibility, that's a situation that needs to address on a singular level. That's not an all black men problem. Let's keep going. At this point, black women just need to do something, whether that's selective breeding, not sleeping with, or just divesting altogether. Black women need to come to terms with who black men are. Now think about this sentence here. Black men need to come to terms with who black men are. This is making a sweeping generalization that there's an ill that plagues all black men. And so again, when I hear this savior community black man mantra, I'm thinking the people that believe that, they need to find whoever has these kinds of issues, and they need to talk these issues out, because again, you've heard Kevin Samuels, you've heard it. 51% of black men are single and childless. 60 some odd in the middle class. We've heard all the stats before, but you read a sentence like this, and it kind of makes you think like, wow, this particular person thinks that being a black man in itself is an illness. And so again, if you are in a situation where you conceive a child with someone who has this kind of ideal that you're going to eventually fail them because of your birthright as a black male, and you're doomed to failure because of how you were born, that is just not a conducive relationship to having a healthy child rearing future. I very much agree with call me slow, but I'll never understand why the conversation is not geared towards teaching black women that sleeping with the enemy is the real problem. Now, one of the reasons why I wanted to put up these conversations or these posts is because if you really look at some of the language used, and you'll get some of this in the other parts of the internet, because when people are anonymous, they say stuff that they probably shouldn't say. But a lot of times when people are speaking anonymously, they're being completely honest. And so the idea of that some people see black men as the enemy, and not, you might look at this comment and think, is this a black person wrote it? And it's possible that it might be a masked person, but all things considered, you see that kind of sentence and you're thinking, wow, like sleeping with the enemy, that's the way you see it. And so, yeah, let's just keep going. We seem to forget that black men turn into something else once you are pregnant or have their child. Now, again, this is probably some kind of unaddressed trauma that this person may have had in the past by just, having a poor partner selection. Then you basically found out the true nature after you've slept with them. And that's the danger with being black men. Of course, you can use protection and not get pregnant, but whatever. Probably not, seeing how part of the risk is them taking your life. So one of the things is I find really interesting about this kind of space, and I want to wrap this up, is that you're seeing this kind of unaddressed, really kind of like, I don't know, exponential almost, kind of like, I had a bad experience, so I'm going to say that experience represents what, all black men are, right? And you see comments like this, and it makes you kind of question, what if are the people I'm around, do they really feel this way about black men? I think I have another one here. Oh, this was the last one, but you look at these kind of comments and you mask coma black men, put them under, don't deal with them at all. I'm thankful I had a girl because I didn't want boys. Men will come an excuse for responsibility. Black women need to come to terms with who black men are. You see kinds of questions, sleeping with the enemy. You see comments like these, and it makes you wonder, maybe I'm just better off not taking the chance and meeting someone overseas. And I'm going to end this video by starting here. Okay, so we all know who this is, and actually these comments came from a different video. So if you're looking for these comments, you won't find them there. There'll actually be another video. I'm not going to reveal them in this video, but what I think when people talk about the savior community black men conversation, the conversation needs to start right here. You see that? That's 114,000 people. If there's a conversation to be had, that conversation needs to be had on that channel with this person. For the people that are saying, let's save the community, because let's be honest, that's a lot of people that are paying attention to this channel. And so you might be dealing with someone who's watching this channel and intaking this on a periodic basis. And if you if you have the unfortunate mishap to have a child with someone who believes in these kinds of talking points like these here, what do you think is going to be the case for the next 18 years of you dealing with that person? Do you think it's going to be amicable at all? It's not. It's not going to be amicable. It's going to be as difficult as possible. You're going to be trying to deprogram stuff when you see your child. And so you see a lot of guys who are just saying, you know what, I'm just going to get my passport. I'm going to go somewhere else. Again, this speaks to why a lot of guys are doing it. And if you are one of those people out there that want black men to come and save the community, you need to address this here. You need to address this and the people that are consuming that kind of stuff and try and, I don't know what to tell you, because you can't tell me that my passport bros don't see these numbers and they're thinking, I don't know who's watching that channel. So I'm going to just be cautious and take care all the way around. With that said, I want to thank you guys for watching, and please like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care, guys.